Hey everybody, the Anti-Pundit is back. It is the weekend of November the 14th, 2014. Ladies and gentlemen, net neutrality is back in the news this week. It's been the big news this week. Now, instead of me explaining what's going on, here's the president himself explaining what he wants to do.
Hi everybody. Ever since the internet was created, it's been organized around basic principles of openness, fairness, and freedom. There are no gatekeepers deciding which sites you get to access. There are no toll roads on the information superhighway. This set of principles, the idea of net neutrality, has unleashed the power of the internet and given innovators the chance to thrive. Abandoning these principles would threaten to end the internet as we know it. That's why I'm laying out a plan to keep the internet free and open. And that's why I'm urging the Federal Communications Commission to do everything they can to protect net neutrality for everyone. They should make it clear that whether you use a computer, phone, or tablet, internet providers have a legal obligation not to block or limit your access to a website. Cable companies can't decide which online stores you can shop at or which streaming services you can use. And they can't let any company pay for priority over its competitors. To put these protections in place, I'm asking the FCC to reclassify internet service under Title II of a law known as the Telecommunications Act. In plain English, I'm asking them to recognize that for most Americans, the internet has become an essential part of everyday communication and everyday life. The FCC is an independent agency, and ultimately this decision is theirs alone. But the public has already commented nearly 4 million times, asking the FCC to make sure that consumers, not the cable company, gets to decide which sites they use. Americans are making their voices heard and standing up for the principles that make the internet a powerful force for change. As long as I'm president, that's what I'll be fighting for too.
Hey, I'll give it to him. He wants to do something about this. And he's correct, because this issue has been going on for a while, and the way he wants to do it actually makes some sense. Now, I know I keep beating a dead horse on this subject, but here's what I said about this 6 months ago. Tom Wheeler, who's head of the FCC, wants to do this, or at least having a hearing on it. And this means bad, bad news. And I need a perfect example, this show. Now, granted, my shows aren't very long, but to do my show, to upload it, it's a big file. I mean, it's a 3 gig file at the minimum every single time. So what happens to somebody like me who can reach a cap in a hurry? What am I gonna do, pay more? For a lot of us, we can't do that. And the other issue is, with this whole pay to play, it locks a lot of people and companies out. And let me explain. You're gonna have companies who can pay the money to have higher speeds, but somebody like me or the other people that does shows out there, or even the companies, smaller companies, we're screwed. And that's not good. Now folks, I know I'm beating a dead horse on this, and I'm standing behind 100% of what I said back then, and I believe it now. Now, this part of this whole net neutrality business actually went under the radar. AT&T has said that they're stopping doing their upgrade to fiber optics, so this is figured out. Now, ladies and gentlemen, they want to see which way this goes, only because if they go about doing this, will be a tiered service. Now, and that's what they're trying to do. Now, with the most unusual thing I've seen in this whole situation this week was Ted Cruz and what he said on his Twitter page. Now, in case you don't know, he basically said that it's the Obamacare of that, basically. I can't remember the exact quote, and I apologize. Now, look, folks. He's just doing this to go after the base, and he doesn't have a clue. Now, apparently, one of his biggest donors was Comcast, so he has a vested interest in this. And it makes me mad, because something like this affects all of us. It affects me, because I use a lot of bandwidth when I do these programs. Now, we're going to see exactly what happens. here, hopefully. It'll probably have something far as committee by the end of the year. But keep in mind, do not look away on this. Because like I've said, and I'll continue to say it, it affects all of us. We're back, folks. You know, the ACA is back in the news this week. Now, Jonathan Gruber did a speech. Now, instead of me saying what he said, here's directly out of his mouth what was said.
Transparency is a huge political advantage. And basically, call it the stupidity of the American voter or whatever. But basically, that was really, really critical to getting the thing to pass.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to use this as social commentary this week. People jumped all over him about this. And I'm thinking to myself, why? Because he's 100% correct, and let me explain. Political parties, and I don't care which party it is, they want those low information people. Plain and simple, bottom line, the end. And it's pretty damn sad. Because we all should know better than this. There's no way for me to put into words how stupid people are when it comes to politics. They want low information people. This last midterm election a couple weeks ago was a perfect example of this. Both sides were going after low information voters. And this should serve as a warning, and a lesson to every single one of us that this has to stop. Why? Because they're feeding off people like you. And that shows everybody, if you want the problem fixed, take some initiative and do some research. And you will be better off for that. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're in the last segment of the show this week. Now, it's a short show this week, and I apologize for that, but we'll be back on our regularly scheduled format next week. Now, as you know, the video I showed last week, a couple weeks ago, was this. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I am officially a network. And yes, I know it's an MCN. Now, as far as this show, nothing will change. But you will be seeing more content being added here, hopefully for the next few weeks. So stay tuned as far as that. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's it for this week. I thank you for watching. And then be careful, and remember, fear the real.